Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Well, I guess a few of you have been thinking that we haven't been loading many videos, so are we alright? Well, thanks for caring. Yes, of course we're alright. We've been suffering from two things: very busy and a weak signal on the hill. What it means is that it takes a long time to upload a video. So that's decreased things, and so we have videos that are stacked up waiting to be posted. Unfortunately, it's just not working very fast at the moment. So let me give you a little update on what we've been working on. We've been having issues with our pets, which is of concern to us. So we've been at the vets. We've had our little, well, it's not a kitten anymore, but we think of it as the kitten, and it's as big as the mama now, and that is Turtle. Now, please don't take issue. Don't take issue with Turtle's name. Beth is responsible for naming most of the animals here, so hence you have Turtle the cat, Giraffe the dog, and a few and a few other names as well. Okay, and that's how it goes. So, as I said, we've been busy. We've been really trying to get our storage unit, office, the way that things are going. We really need to get it into being a presentable office, and we've been working on that today. That what I find, as I mentioned before, that the Superman team have special skills, and they do come in for criticisms for not being other than they are. They are rustic carpenters. They're what I call blitz carpenters. They're not their first fix. They're first fix carpenters working as second fix carpenters, and so there will be a downside to some of the things that they do, but they get the damn thing done, and they get it done fast. So we're grateful for that. Now, some of the work that they did on the last knockings of our job have been really detail work. And what I find, no criticism intended, what I find is that the detail work is not their forte. Now, we all have our skills, and detail work, second fix, knowing exactly what's going to look nice, knowing exactly what you have to do to make the next guy's work easy, is a skill in its own. So I've been doing that. Making good on stuff. I forgot what the British term was the other day, of last minute. All the little jobs that come up that have to be corrected, and somebody, obviously a Brit, managed to send me and tell me that it was the snagging list. Thank you for that. I think that in America they call it the punch list. So certainly when you get enough snagging to do, you want to punch the last guy who caused all the work. So we've been getting it to the point where we can paint that lower half of, if you've been watching the videos of our house that we put up, our building, and a lot of it was rendered in cement on the inside, and so it had to be scraped off and then have a smooth coat put on it, which looks like plaster, but isn't quite like plaster, because it's a finer finish, because not a finer finish than finished plaster, because how can it be finer than that? I used to do finished plaster work when I was in the UK, and that's very smooth. To get that kind of smooth with the smooth coat, you have to sandpaper it down, and fortunately I was given some sandpaper, real sandpaper, by our friend and latest visitor Mike. That was one of his gifts. So that's what I've been working at today. We did have some accidents on the tile where some of the stain that was used on the ceiling has dropped down, and we've got some drops of stain on the tile. Beth was the one that managed to get the better result, so we still have some making good to do on that, but most of it is there. So tomorrow is going to be on painting that lower half. We still have some finish work to do on the tile. For some strange reason, no matter how many times I mention it, when the Superman team, that was Rado and Julio, they let the grout die, not die, they let the grout dry. And when you let the grout dry, it is quite a job to get it off. Whereas if the last thing that you do as you grout, if you, as everybody, well, as most people who've done grouting know, if you wipe it off with a damp cloth, it's like it's done. There's always a residue to come off. You have to keep mopping it, but you don't get this this white smear on the outside, and certainly you don't get over grouting. Well, that's going to have to be attended to still tomorrow, and after that we will hope that we're getting into uncovering the furniture, setting up, transferring the desk from the guest house, and other stuff like that. So we're going to be setting up pictures and you know, that kind of fun stuff really. So we'll be posting some videos of that, and that will be it. A little update on Mike and on Lena. The fun pair are actually in Tagbilaran. So Tagbilaran is a 3-hour drive in a bus, which is the way that they will have gone. Well, I hope that they haven't taken the suicide vans, which we would be waiting for a possible call from a hospital in the area, because they drive so crazily. So I never take them myself, and always discourage our guests from taking them too. It's a more sedate ride if you go in a bus, but the chances of getting there are greatly enhanced. So what else have we been doing? Well, the pets, we've had issues with them. Little Tiger was doing the best. Out of the 3 puppies that we have, Tiger was doing the best. He had mange, always a nasty thing to be talking about. And he was doing great. And then for some strange reason, he started to regress. Now, we took him to the vet, and we took Pogie in there. Pogie had his update on his rabies shot. So what we did was, rather than try to take all the dogs in for rabies, we actually got the vet to come out and do the dogs out here at the house. So we took the kitten in first, and had the kitten Turtle fixed, so we're not going to have any more activity there. Beth refuses to have Golden fixed. Not something I agree with, but she thinks that it's a danger to have Golden fixed, and she absolutely loves that cat, and who am I to get in the middle of that? So we had a visit from the vet trying to catch all of the dogs, because for some magical reason they know a vet when they see one and they all start running away. Well, we had Nanai do her come and get come and get it feeding cry, and that got everybody into Nana's house, and then one by one we got them injected and treated, and so that was all very successful, except for one, which was Momo. Momo was extremely shy about coming. As soon as the vet left, down Momo comes and is quite happy to be petted and be part of the crowd. So Momo will have to be another day. Not easy to take the animals in because well, they're not used to, I never quite get this over to people who are not out here with farm animals. These are farm animals. They're never tethered. They're never tethered up, so they're not used to having anything around their neck. And with Pogi, we did attempt to get him so that he was used to it. The little one, Red, we have him with a collar. So he's got a collar, and we will try to make sure that he knows what being on a leash is, so that in future we've got more control there. But he's turning out to be, well, he's turning out to be potentially one big guy, and he's also very intelligent. Now we are told by the vet, and why would we not believe, that he's a bit of a wild seed sown. He was born to a American bully and bulldog, bully, I don't know if there is a difference, but anyway, he was born to an American bulldog mother, but obviously has some kind of a strain, as the same as Snow, because that same brindle element is there. But he's going to be a big boy, and he's also very intelligent. We have a cage which we have bought and keep him in the house. The cage, I always misunderstood the idea of a cage. I thought it was very cruel, but in fact, once you get the dog used to knowing that that is home, then they're very happy to go in there, and that's their place. So the door is open. They're not trapped in there, looking as if they're in prison. They're actually, as soon as Red comes in, and he's been the unusual dog because he actually wants to be home, and he'll scratch at the front door. We'll let him in, and he will quite happily go into his cage. So we're happy for that too. I kind of glossed over Mike and Lena because that's an important date that they're having there. They've gone, I saw them in Alturas when I was in there today buying a couple of things, and actually what Mike said was, well, we're goofing around, and we chatted for a couple of minutes, and then he said, well, we'd better get back to goofing around. And they were holding hands, and they seemed very happy. So I was happy to let them go. I was at the cash desk actually. So apparently we've texted Lena, and she said we're in Tagbilaran. I would like everybody to give the guy a break, and we've had very mixed comments about this. Some of them I don't mind. I have no objection to somebody saying I don't feel good about this guy. That's your opinion, and even though it's not actually mine at this moment, you're very welcome to have that. I've never ever said that I want everybody to agree with me or agree with Brett and I. We do what we do, and you guys out there, individually or otherwise, do what you do, and it's okay. But when you call somebody, when you start degrading them, when you start making judgments which are nasty, well, I'm not going to have it. Sorry, I'm not going to have it. Somebody said that I was very condescending, and it was a very long email for this particular person, and I ended up deleting it and blocking. So that's always the possibility, and I try to shy away from that, because I want a healthy forum for discussion. But as I've said many times, I haven't got a target on my chest, so I'm not up for pot shots. So if that means that I'm on the defensive, well, okay, yeah. So it seems that Mike and Lena are up there, and I won't make any predictions, but I'm guessing they'll be back tomorrow. Either that or they'll be having fun up there. There's so much going on in Tagbilaran which just doesn't happen in Taliban, that they may well be looking at some stuff that even we have not seen after all this time, because normally we don't get to stay in Tagbilaran, but you can go and see any one of quite a few movies. The latest movies are out there, and so maybe that they took in a movie, had dinner, and then found a hotel. That's it for now. Thanks for being with us. There was one thing that I forgot to mention, which I was very touched by, and that was that Mike went to the trouble of giving me a gift which I didn't realize the value of at the time that he gave it to me. And there was a strike in Colorado in, I think, 1913, and it was a strike that was infamous in that the coal miners were actually massacred at one point. There was a brutal killing of so many, and the man that was instrumental in bringing this to a close, and I've gone and forgotten his name. I thought it was John Winslow, and now I'm not sure, but he went into the Hall of Fame and was actually an incredibly courageous man, and I will give you his name on another occasion, on another video. But I'm now reading the book, and that's what I was about to say, is that Mike brought me a book that belonged to him, and when I looked in the front, it was personally autographed, personally signed and dated by John, the man himself, which I thought was quite a thoughtful thing to give. And I'm reading it now, and I'm enjoying finding out what happened about these coal miners way back when unions were not welcome and were thought of as a threat. They've gone through various incarnations since then, haven't they, where they became the saviour of the working man, and then later they were thought to be bringing down business. So they've gone up and down, up and down. It's been a roller coaster ride. But the coal miners, the fact that it's a coal miners dispute was particularly important to me, because at one time, even though I never worked as a working coal miner, I actually did my training as a coal miner on haulage, is what I was supposed to be doing. And I was trained to do that at the Robin Hood pit outside of Manchester in the UK. And I did my full training there, and I actually have my certificate, if only I could find it. Don't have any photographs from that time, which is a regret that I have. But I was supposed to start on the Monday, and I had a job at Bradford Pit. I've said this a few times before, so forgive me for repeating, but I succeeded in getting a job on haulage at the Bradford Pit. I gather that the Bradford Pit is now closed, of course, but that was going to be my job. But instead, now that I think of it, as being a coal miner was not something that I think I was destined to do. My father had written to the band of the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders and asked if they would take me as a trainee and train me to be a musician. And fortunately for me, in many ways, though I didn't think so after I'd been in the army for a little while, I was given the training and became a professional musician. And that happened at exactly the same time that I was supposed to start my job at the Bradford Pit. Of course, I didn't show up. Instead, I went into the army. So it still leaves an experience that certainly shaped part of my life. I spent some time in the Robin Hood Pit. We did our training down below. I had the experience of going down in what was the cage and sinking down into the depths of the earth, which was exciting at first, but then later, boy, I began to realize that this was not the right place to be for me. Okay, so didn't mean to get off into the coal miners trip, but that's how things are sometimes. Thanks for looking in. This is a foreigner in the Philippines, and my little update why we've been so busy. We're hoping that we will get this week's signal sorted out, and we'll be back with our full production very, very soon. So, bye for now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.